To say it was a successful weekend for our area football teams would be a bit of an understatement. 4 entries into the PIAA tournament and 4 winners. Plus, we saw 2 hugely compelling matchups as district competition came to a close. In other words, it gave us more than enough to choose from for this week's edition of Top Plays and Prime Time Performers. We'll start with the District 6A final, which saw Freedom and Parkland squaring off for the first time since 2017, and saw junior Trey Tremba get the Trojans off and running early. Just the second play from scrimmage when Tremba rips off a 52-yard gainer. The junior would account for all 80 yards on Parkland's opening sequence, capping the drive with an 11-yard burst. Just the start of a huge night for Tremba, who finished with 149 total yards and 3 touchdowns. Finding pay dirt again from 1 and 2 yards out before halftime, Tremba now up to 21 rushing scores, 26 TDs in total this year. Trojans didn't just do their damage on the ground Friday evening. Quarterback Luke Spang and wideout Jack Harrison have developed quite the rapport as the years moved along, and they were completely in sync on the season's biggest stage, connecting 4 times for 83 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Spang first finding the senior just before halftime with a perfect back shoulder throw. That before Harrison hauled in a championship-clinching 32-yard scoring strike in the third quarter. Spang now with 2 or more TD tosses in 5 of his last 6 games. 12 of his 17 touchdowns on the year have come in the last half dozen weeks, as Parkland takes down the defending champs 35-10, securing the 11th district title in program history, and the Trojans' first since 2017. Now, meanwhile, in the 3A finale, despite freezing temps and snow squalls, Northwestern Lehigh didn't have any trouble putting up points Friday versus North Schuylkill. Running back Dalton Clymer finding pay dirt 3 times in total. The junior racked up 50 yards on the ground, which included a 1-yard TD plunge, while adding 36 yards through the air on a couple of catches, both of which went to the house as well, as the Tigers found their way back atop the district mountain with a 34-13 triumph. Third time's the charm for Northwestern after back-to-back title game setbacks to Central Catholic. The Tigers earned their first district gold since 2014. Now, speaking of the Vikings, they used defense to secure their 3rd straight district title, and it was more of the same from Tim McGorry's group in their PIAA opener. Central making life miserable for unbeaten Jersey Shore all night long. Just before halftime, when Ethan Hosack blocks the punt inside the 5, Matt Keys then with a 2-yard scoop and score, giving the Vikings a 24-14 lead. Central then surges back in front by 10 early in the 3rd when Armani Torres authors his 2nd interception in as many games, taking this pick 6 32 yards to the house, 31-21 at that point. Vikes then protecting a 38-31 lead in overtime, when on 4th and goal, Travis Foster makes a game-clinching stop at the goal line to preserve the victory. Central into the state quarters for the first time in a decade. Whitehall's defense also put on a show in its state opener, shutting out District 2 champion Delaware Valley in the second half. And while the Zephyrs were keeping the Warriors at bay, running back Nigel Linton was running Whitehall right into the second round. The senior ran for 149 yards and 3 touchdowns Friday, including this 52-yard scoring scamper that helped clinch a 34-13 victory. Zaps grabbed their first state playoff win since 2016, earning a quarterfinal showdown Saturday with District 12 runner-up Imhotep.